Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis for big mega cap stocks. So show your support by hitting that thumbs up button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, and that means a lot to me. Now, if you want to get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, my analysis in 3 days of live trading, definitely check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple, stock is down just over 1%, and Apple was green just like everything else today, and now finally took a dump off, and now trading just slightly below 13-day moving average right here, and that is around 195. So tomorrow, Apple needs to recapture 195 as a support. If not, you're going to see Apple pulling back down to 20-day moving average right here, this white line 193.32, and below that you're going to see a bigger dump off all the way down to this gap 190, and that's going to be a strong support on Apple. And then we can talk about possibly this gap down here below 190, this gap 186.03. To the upside, Apple can recapture 195, then watch out for a move up to 198 right here, and then possibly going all the way up to even 200. On Tesla, stock is down 3.92%, and I was lucky enough to get out with nice profit early in the morning. Now, a lot of people, what they do, they trade all day. Before closing, they're buying something. 2:30 p.m., they're buying something. 3 p.m., they'll be trading something. Guess what? If this was me right here, buying at 2:52 at 2 p.m. right here, I would be holding a bag right now. And that is why I like to make my money between 9:30 a.m. and by 12 p.m. I'm out of this market and my profit already in my bank. So that is why early in the morning you can always make money. I'm not saying you cannot make money all day, but that is just over trading, and you're trading all day, and this is not something you want to do every day here in this market. And you can see why. We got a good example right here. I actually bought the dip at 255, 260 calls this morning, and I sold out for a nice profit. And then what happened, guys? Later today, we saw a big dump off. This thing is down $10 on the day. Forget about taking profit. Now, if you actually bought the dip at 252 later, guess what? You got caught holding a bag right now. Now, if you look at my screen, it's just coming back and retesting this breakout right here, and that is around 246 right here. So that's going to be key level to watch tomorrow. Just below that, we also have support right here, 242.63, and then this gap just below 241. So below 246, we also have support between 242 to 240.30, and that is going to be a strong level right here on Tesla. Now Tesla can hold 246, and you see a bounce from here, then watch out for a move back up to 252, and once we get above 252, you're going to see 255 to this upper Bollinger Band, or actually 255.97, and then 262 on Tesla. On Nvidia, stock is down 3%, and boy oh boy, look at this dump off here on Nvidia. From 500, this thing took a massive beating, and this is definitely not a bullish looking candle. We got a bearish engulfing candle, and we also in that process coming down and taking out a big support 482. And now the next support here will be down here, 476.66, 20-day moving average right here, and that is kind of flat. As a matter of fact, it's actually declining, so it's not positive slope anymore. So if this actually gives up below 476.66, you're going to see 471 right down here, and then a quick trip all the way down to 460. Above 482, yes, you could see a move back up to retest 5-day moving average right here, 490, and once we get above 490, then watch out for 500 to even 505.48, and possibly another fresh new all-time high, because we have seen these moves before. We need more confirmation. We need a breakdown below 476.66, and that is gonna be your confirmation that Nvidia actually topped out, and this could be actually a double top right here. And if this plays out, this thing can come down all the way down to easily this gap 423.81 at some point, maybe next year. On AMD, it's down 3.34%, and here's another example. Now, AMD, I took some calls right here at 138, and this thing did not play out. Went back up, I was actually green, I think about 7% or maybe even 10, got up to 139.58, it was 140 calls, and then this thing came down, and soon as AMD broke under 138, I was out for I think 7 or 10% loss, and this is why it's better to take a small loss and not hold anything and hoping that it'll come back up. Because if this thing was coming back up, I would see it right away and I would hold. And this thing definitely did not hold the support 138. And you can see if you're holding all day, guess what? 10, 15% or 7%. Now you're down 70%, maybe even 80% because those are weekly calls and they got toasted. Especially if you're holding from 138, and that is why you have to respect your stop loss and you got to get out when things are not playing out in your favor. Now here on AMD, watch out, the next support will be down here around 132, a big one, and then 128.44, 125. AMD can recapture 138, then watch out for a move back up to 142 to even 145, and then big resistance at 148. On Microsoft, it's down 0.71%, and it's actually holding right here. If you look at my screen, 370 as a support, 5-day moving average right here, this blue line, and below that we have this strong support 366. Now if you're gonna see a breakdown on Microsoft, this thing needs to break below 366, and soon as that happens, you see one or two closing below 366, you're going to see a dump off all the way down to this gap 357.54. Now to the upside, Microsoft can hold right here, 5-day moving average 370, then watch out for a move and the resistance at 375, and above that 380. On Amazon, stock is down 1%, and look at this one here, guys, hitting my price target right here 155, and then from this resistance right here, you can see 3 touches right here, 155, we got above 155 today, and finally this thing did not get that breakout over 155 and pulling back and holding above right here, rising 5-day moving average 151.47, closing at 152.12. So 151.47, that's gonna be a support to watch, and below that 150, and 150 gives up, then watch out down here 147.89, and then the strong support down here, this consolidation 146. Now here on Amazon, above 151.47, if this thing can hold right here, then you're going to see a move back up to 155. On Meta, it's down 0.31%, so nothing big here on Meta, and you can see a clear rejection from 355 for the second day today. Today touching and going around 355. Yesterday was up here just around 354 and not getting that breakout over 355, because if that happens, you're going to see Meta going all the way up to just above 361 to close that weekly gap on top. Now below 355, I would like to see a retest of this breakout 343, and that might be coming early as tomorrow here on Meta, unless we get that breakout over 355. So watch out for a pullback down here, and that's gonna be strong support 343. And finally, if that gives up, you're going to see a dump off all the way down to 333 and then 331 right here on Meta. On Google, stock it's up 1.13%, and I said it before and last night, above 135, you're going to see Google going all the way up to 140, and this thing here delivered today all the way up to 143, going above and beyond. And then we saw with the market pulling back, Google getting a massive rejection up on the day, but pretty much closing at the low of the day and just above this gap from this morning, 138.77. So on a pullback, you want to watch right here, this gap 138.77, and that should be a support. And below that, we have strong support down here, 135, and we have all these moving averages right here, pretty much sitting in between 135 and 136. So Google here can hold on a pullback after filling this gap at 138.77, then watch out for the resistance at 140, and once we get above 140, this thing is gone, 142, and possibly going all the way up to 145. So Netflix going down 1.16%, but who cares? And I talked about it last night. The next target 500, and intraday this thing hitting 500 twice and then getting a rejection of a 500 and then pulling back down to 489, down on the day just over 1%. But look at the good news, holding 485 breakout as a support. Now if this thing gives up 485, then watch out for this gap down here, 473 and then 470.47, 20-day moving average right here. That's gonna be a support to watch, and then we can talk about this gap down here. Now we also have gaps to the upside, and if this thing breaks out above 500, the next stop will be right up here, 506 on Netflix. So that's all I have for you guys, and I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.